to Enlightenment of Change on webtalkradio.com. I'm your host, Connie Whitman. You know that my guests and I are happy that you're here. So as you listen to the show, my guests and I, man, we get it, right? That word change throws us into a tailspin at times, especially if the change is thrust upon us and we're not really choosing it. So to help you navigate change in your life, I have a gift for you. In the show notes, you'll find my communication style assessment. You will get 2 reports after taking the quiz. One just spotlights literally your superpowers and how your message is being received. Flip side, your lowest score, you'll get a report for that one, which is usually your blind spot. I think that's a more important report because it shows you how your message is landing for those that communicate 180 degrees different than you. So again, that info is in the show notes. I hope you take that quiz, and I hope it helps you navigate whatever change you're navigating through. Now, my motivational quote today is by Phil Frost, and Phil says, "Successful SEO is not about tricking Google. It's about partnering with Google to provide the best search results for Google users." And as I reflected on this quote for today, I was inspired to try to see the show's topic from many different perspectives, right? Every time I pick these quotes. Well, today's topic obviously is about SEO and SEO rankings. Now, I have not fully leveraged my SEO for my own personal business. Seriously, it's because of my own lack of knowledge. So I'm personally excited to hear my guests and his thoughts on SEO generation, Google Analytics, and how to leverage this unforeseen power behind, in this case, my website, hopefully your website, whether you're an executive or a business owner. So who is this amazing man that I speak of? His name is Matt Diamant.
Diamante.
Diamante. So you've heard his voice. Matt founded HeyTony, a leading digital marketing agency. And by 2023, under his guidance, HeyTony collaborated with industry titans like Canada's premier bank, Labatt, Anheuser Busch, Nivea, and Coppertone, while also bolstering numerous small businesses. Passionate about work-life balance, Matt ensures HeyTony services drive meaningful business growth, allowing clients to lead enriched lives. So please help me welcome Matt to the show. Kiddo, thanks for being on.
Yeah, this is great. I love it. I'm excited. We were just talking before we even started recording, and I'm like, oh, I like you. Let's go.
Back at you, brother. Back at you. So here's truly, I really have not done anything with my SEO. My growth has been organic. 22 years in business. I really do live off of referrals. Of course, I do the social media stuff, but I have not truly focused on SEO. So I'm really going to come at you from a very curious perspective, Matt, where I'm going to ask you questions because like many, they're probably novices. If they're doing it already, they're probably good at it. So they think the people who are going to benefit from the show are people like me, where we're not really leveraging that SEO perspective, right?
100%. And just so you know, the first couple of years of my business, and I work in online marketing, digital marketing, and we focus on SEO. I didn't even have a website for my own business, which means we weren't doing any SEO. I wasn't doing social media. I wasn't literally doing nothing. And I was running 100% off referrals. And part of the reason why I built a website and started doing SEO and posting on socials is because you can't depend on referrals forever. You can't make projections on, how much staff I'm going to need, how much product you're going to need. You just can't do it. So I was like, what's it? The shoemaker's kids don't have shoes, or whatever that that quote is.
That's right.
That's a lot of, digital marketers. They don't focus on their own websites. So for us on my team, one of the first things I have my new staff do, or actually all my staff right now, we all write blog posts on the website. And I say I'm excluding myself at this point because I am drowning and I don't have enough time to do that. You're running the business, you're doing the work, but everybody's writing at least one blog post per week, meaning there's 5, 6, 7, 8 blog posts coming out on our site per week, which just goes to show you that we are doing our own SEO. We put our money where our mouth is, and, we're getting results.
Yeah, so I want to talk about that with me for a minute, the blog post. So I had hired a company, so they take the show and they do the transcription and they add some pictures and images, and they called that a blog post to my SEO. And I think
Yeah.
we posted 2 a week, 2 articles, quote unquote articles a week to catch up, because I have, several hundred shows between my 2 shows. I have, I think 500 or 600 episodes. So
Wow.
we were trying, so we're trying to backlog them and get that up. Is that a good strategy to take something like a show for those podcasters out there that are listening, transcribe them, clean them up a little bit and make them into blog posts? Or should it be, and I'm using air quotes for those listening on Apple, like traditional blogs where it's truly an article and not really transcriptions?
Yeah. So the transcription thing, it's like I've had mixed reviews with doing that. Like I have a client who would do it for all of their YouTube videos, and they'd post, a YouTube video every single day, like, or not, maybe 5 days a week kind of thing.
Wow.
And it's just, you have to write something that's helpful. So if, like, for example, this podcast right now is about one specific topic and we're covering that topic to the, nth degree, whatever, then that makes sense to do as a transcript. If you want to rank that specific piece higher on Google. Now, uploading blog posts to your website without necessarily focusing on a keyword that you're trying to rank for is going to be good, because you're showing Google like, hey, we're creating new content. This is useful content. This is helpful content. Sure, it's a transcript of a podcast, but here's the video of the podcast. Here's the links to the podcast. And you're showing them that you're updating your site frequently. So you're going in there, you're adding new information, you're being helpful. If you're driving traffic to those pages from an email list or social media, Google sees all of that, right? So if people are spending time on your website, that's going to help with SEO. So if there's a long transcript and people are reading it and they're watching the video or they're following along, however they're doing it, spending more time on the website is going to help with your SEO.
Okay, good. So it was a good strategy
Yeah.
that I paid the money for, and, trying to, again, right. And we were talking about this before the show, just like the podcast, I said, we promote it, of course. And I always ask my guests to promote it. It's a numbers game. Everything, sales is a numbers game. SEO
Yeah.
is a numbers game, right? All of these, Facebook and LinkedIn, how do we get more impressions, or how do we get more? It's all about the numbers. It's always about the
Yeah.
numbers. So yeah, that makes sense. Thank you for answering that. See, again, curiosity. You answered. That was a very logical response. So I think what I'm doing is good for my SEO. So that's helpful.
Yep.
What is one of the common mistakes that you see businesses, both, I'm going to say big and small, that they're making with that SEO focus or that SEO efforts they're putting out there?
Oh my God, just one? There's there's so many.
I know.
I would say the biggest one is just not thinking about it from the very beginning. And I know that's hard because a lot of us already have websites, and we've been going for years and we just never thought about it. So if you are starting a website or a business from scratch, make sure you have SEO in mind when you're doing that, because you need to make sure that you have, if you sell products, for example, you need to make sure that you have product descriptions, you're optimizing all of that stuff. If you sell services, make sure all your services are listed on your website, make sure they're descriptive, make sure you explain what the service is. And at the end of the day, the content needs to be helpful. So if somebody is looking for a specific product or service, tell them everything you possibly can about that product or service. And you can always go in and add this stuff later. SEO is not just like a one-off kind of thing, which is another big mistake. I get a lot of people reaching out being like, hey, can you do SEO for me for a month? Just, get me like at a base level. And I say no, because that may be effective, that may help you, but you need to continuously work at your SEO. If you just do it once, like set it and forget it, that's not going to give you any results. You need to, like what you're doing, update your pages, update your podcasts or blog posts once a week, I would say at minimum, if you actually want to see real results like pretty quickly. You also need to do backlinks, which I'll get into backlinks later if it comes up. But essentially, backlinks are links from another website back to your website, and that shows trust and credibility, to Google and to other people. So I have no idea where I'm going with this now. Oh my God. I'm just thinking of so many things. I'm like,
Because
there's
there's
so many things you could fix. Yeah.
Yeah, but there's now here. So let me comment on that. It's so funny you say that, because we think it's a one and done. And I was just teaching a business development class, and I said, you guys, you go out, do all this networking, you get all these business cards, and you have this great conversation with Matt, and you think, oh, we love each other. And then Matt doesn't hear from me again. 3 weeks from now, Matt is not thinking about me. He doesn't even remember who I am because
No.
our life is so busy. There's so much noise. All of us have so much noise because social media, because we're scrolling or we're watching TV or we have kids and we're running to soccer.
Yep.
Lives are busy. So you can't do the one and done. And in the sales world, which is, I know, obviously different than the SEO. When I started, Matt, 40 years ago, we had to touch the client 5 times. Now we didn't have
Yep.
email back then, and we didn't have websites. We didn't even have the internet. But yes, I'm that old, people. But the reality was, it was a phone call or it was snail mail, or literally I would meet them
Yeah.
one-on-one. They were the touches. Well, now fast forward, because of all this noise, we need these SEO generated kind of platforms and help from people like you, because the
Yep.
client needs to see us, hear from us 13 to 18 times, which is exponential. But that touch could be a phone call. I could see you at the local coffee shop. It could
Yep.
be that my website or an email I sent or my podcast. So those touches become really exponentially important. So that one and done, like you described, it's dangerous.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. We have to start playing the long game, I think, in every aspect of business. Today's conversation is the SEO, but it's all the same, right?
Yeah, 100%. And I just want to touch on social media for a second, because you didn't really mention that as a touch point. I'm getting maybe 5 to 10 leads emailing me every single day, like reaching out to me because they've seen my videos on social media, and they're getting all those 18 touch points before they even contact me. So when I get somebody on the phone, it's not like, hey, here, you should buy my service. We can help you with your SEO. All this stuff. They already know all that stuff. The conversation goes, how can I help you? What's going on? And it really reverses the sales process. I'm no longer selling.
That's fabulous. So what social media platforms are you finding? And I'm assuming your clients, you do small to big. I mean, you were
Yeah.
working with some freaking big companies, Labatt and
Yeah.
right, all of the Anheuser Busch, the bank up there in Canada.
Yeah.
So where do you find businesses are playing these days? Like, I'm on LinkedIn, right? But where
Yeah.
are you finding businesses really are
Oh
playing?
my God. I hate LinkedIn with a passion. And I'm going to tell you why. Because everybody there is trying to sell you something. That is like plain and simple. And I don't know if you have a strategy that's not like as salesy as other people, but I get maybe 5 or 10 messages a day being like, hey, Matt, like, can I do this for you? Or like, have you ever thought
Yeah.
about doing this? Like, buy my thing. And
Yeah.
I just don't like that. It's like, it's very much like a push, push, push. Um,
Disgusting.
yeah. And so the platforms that I've been using, which kind of is contradictory, are like entertainment platforms like Instagram and TikTok, where I'm educating people. I'm being myself, being entertaining. I like to think I'm entertaining a little bit. At the same time
Sure.
as I'm teaching, a very mundane subject like SEO, and the amount of responses I've gotten from people saying, I am having so much fun with SEO. I never thought in my life I would hear people saying that SEO is fun, especially like I went to school for advertising, and one of my classes was an SEO class. And actually, it was multiple classes, but that's besides the point. One of them was about SEO, and I loved it from the very beginning. But so many people in my program absolutely hated it. They're like, we have to do all this work. It's ongoing. What do you mean? It's not a project that's just done. And like, when you're finished it, you move on to something that's like, no, you have to keep doing it. And I think that's one of the things that I loved the most about it. So anyways, people are finding SEO fun. They're taking my courses, free courses or paid courses, or just watching my Instagram or TikTok content, and they're having fun with it and they're getting results, which is like, I want to say I'm surprised, but I'm not surprised, because SEO is actually really easy to do if you just follow the steps and you understand what you're doing.
So now are you finding that a lot of businesses and executives and businesses, or these leaders, right? Let's say these executive leaders in an organization, are they watching Instagram and TikTok?
Okay, so let me tell you a quick story. I got a message today from a woman I went to high school with, and I haven't talked to in like maybe 10 years. And she reaches out to me saying, hey, this is hilarious. Somebody at my marketing agency that I work at, they, in a conference, in like a board meeting, whatever, they brought up this guy. You have to watch this guy. He's going to help you with SEO. They pull up a video and it's me. And she goes, I know that guy. I grew up with that guy. And everybody was just shocked, like, you know that person that we're like showing here. And it was like she sent that to me. I was like, that's like really crazy because I never expected that to happen. And she's not the first person to reach out to me and tell me that, I saw you at work. Somebody else brought you up. There's been a lot of other businesses saying, hey, my boss keeps sending me your videos and they want me to do SEO the way that you're doing it because we haven't seen results. And I never, ever in a million years thought that people at like legit big businesses would be sharing my videos around. It's like I want to help entrepreneurs and like I want to help everybody, obviously, but my goal is to help as many entrepreneurs as possible, which is why I have so many free resources and I'm posting, every single day, sometimes 3 times a day. I'm posting helpful videos, not just like Instagram or TikTok, like static posts, videos where I'm talking, I'm showing you something, I'm teaching you how to do something.
That's amazing. And, videos work for sure because we have a very limited attention span. And like you said, if you're entertaining to boot, where you're sharing a funny story about the SEO, but it works, people are like, wait a minute, I can do that. It's relatable. And I think that
Yeah.
business has to be relatable. Otherwise, people aren't going to do business with us in the first place. So
Yeah.
that's a really cool story, Matt. I love it. I just
Yeah.
love it. So let's talk about HeyTony for a sec. All right. So
Okay.
HeyTony, you've worked with diverse brands from the biggest, like we just talked about, to the smallest. How do you tailor those SEO strategies to create these different scales and niches? And because that's quite the span from like an
Yeah.
Anheuser Busch to a Connie Whitman.
Yeah. 100%. So the thing with SEO is it's going to be the same stuff that you're doing for, the biggest bank in Canada to the mom and pop shop down the street. It's the same stuff. Obviously, the stakes are different. I'm going to charge a bank a lot more money because I know how much money they have. Well, not how much, but I know that they got a lot of money. So it's really just going to vary slightly. You still need helpful content. You still need to use the keywords on the page. The only thing like a really big business might not need are a bunch of backlinks to their site or to those specific pages. And again, a backlink is just a link from another website that gives that website or gives your website or that page more credibility. Yeah, that's basically the only difference in the strategy is just more or less backlinks.
So the backlink, somebody from another business has to have my link on their website to send people to me. Who's going to want to do that?
Oh my God, there's so many things. So in this situation right now, I'm a guest on your podcast. You're going to be linking to my site from your website because I'm a guest. Podcasting is a great way to get backlinks to your site, albeit it's a little bit more laborious way to get backlinks, and that's not why I'm doing it, but that's an added benefit. So different ways that you can get links from other websites to your website. Sign up for directories. Legit businesses will be in business directories. These links are not going to make or break your business necessarily. Some might be really good, but go join your local chamber of commerce, pay the whatever yearly fee. My chamber of commerce is really great. They have events once a month, like a business after business. Every other Tuesday, I go to a breakfast networking event with a much smaller group, and I paid $500. I actually found them because I was looking for local backlinks. And like, if you're a local business, you want local websites to link to you as well as, websites from wherever. Obviously, try to get links from websites that are maybe North American or European. Don't try to do the stuff in like India or Philippines or like random countries like that, because that's not going to help you. So I'm really digressing from the main point at this point.
No, that's a good point, because I'm thinking, well, why would anybody want to post my website?
Yeah.
But if I'm a member of something and I'm listed on there, they're sending people back to my website through that link. And I don't, it's so funny. See, I don't think of that. I'm on a lot of podcasts all the time. So they get my website, they get my email list, right? So those links are posted in the show notes. So that sends people back to my website.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
And so another thing as well, like, you are an expert in your field. If you reach out to another website that, it's about the same industry as you, and you offer, hey, I want to write a blog post, I want to be a guest blogger on your website, can I do that? Sometimes they say yes, most of the time they say no, but when they say yes, then you can write a nice piece of content for them and include a link back to your website in that content. That's expected nowadays. People aren't dumb. They know why you want to write a guest post for them. It's going to be good for your credibility, for your trust, for your authority, all that kind of stuff. So that's a big strategy in building links back to your site, is guest blogging on a bunch of different websites. Now, I will say that you don't want to get, 100 backlinks from only one website. You want to, if you can, get 100, like one link from 100 different websites. That'll go a lot farther for you than getting 100 from one.
Yeah, it's like a web, right? A web. Again, you got to,
Yeah.
the spider web's got to go out, right? And you bring
Exactly.
more back to you. Now, do you work, when you work with the business owner, whether it's corporate or a small business owner per se, do you, when you sit and do the strategy with them, do you have to do the blogs? Is it all done for you? Or do you because you said you have courses also.
Yep.
So somebody like me, can I learn? Because I have too much content, Matt. I do 2 shows a week. Plus I post on LinkedIn, I reshare posts and stuff like that. So I'm always creating content, time consuming, worth it, right? Because I'm like you, I want to share. But if I could do more videos, let's say on Instagram, because I'm not on Instagram, to be honest, I didn't realize business owners were there. So do you come up with the strategy and then I can do it with my team, or I have to hire your team? What's the gamut of what you do? I'm just trying to understand.
So basically, if you come to me and you're like, hey, I don't have a budget, you have under, $2,000 a month, and you're like, I can't afford to spend more. I'm like, you can do this yourself. So I have like do it with you kind of programs, if that makes sense, where you can sign up, you get access to all my courses, and then we have a group call once a week, and I answer any questions and make sure you're on the right track. I look at your analytics, like whatever you want to look at on that call. And I keep that group small. It's maybe like 10, 15 people. Not everybody shows up to every call because, like we were saying earlier, people are busy, they have lives. So that's one option for if you don't have a budget and you want to do it yourself and you want to figure out a strategy. We basically talk about that stuff on the calls, and I sometimes give you homework. Go do this week. Go fix all these pages, or go fix this error on your website. Here's how I would fix it, kind of thing. And then when somebody actually hires us to do their SEO, we do everything for them. So I'm sorry, I'm just trying to think of where to start. We do all the keyword research, we do all the competitive analysis, then we write blog posts for their website. And like, these are all researched, like people are actually looking up those specific terms. We will update pages on people's websites. So if you have a page, about a service and you're like, well, I want to rank higher for this service, we'll go onto that page and we'll say, okay, well, you're not ranking because of X, Y, and Z. We're going to write more content and adjust the content on the page, not rewrite everything, because it could be in your brand voice. Maybe you want to say certain things. We will add to it and make those recommendations. And if you say it's good to go, we will upload it to your website. We'll do all the changes for you. And then we also do the backlink outreach, or the guest post outreach, and we will write the guest post for you. So if you don't have time to do any of that stuff that I just mentioned, we do that, literally the whole thing from start to finish for you. And this is the biggest thing with SEO agencies or SEO people. A lot of them don't tell you what they're doing. They don't report back to you. It's like this SEO is this big myth. And it's like, like I'm paying somebody $500 on Fiverr, like whatever, to do SEO. And what are they doing? Right? You have no idea. So one of the things that we do is like, we do an activity report in addition to the analytics report. So we're not just saying, here's your numbers, like, bye. It's like, no, here's the blog post that we posted on your site. Here's how many backlinks we did. Here's additional things, whatever. Literally, like everything that we work on, you have an agenda. And I actually just hired somebody on my team yesterday. And this person is basically going to be communicating with the clients more frequently, because I want everybody to like feel looked after. Like, we're doing the work, we just aren't communicating, once a week necessarily. Like, here's the update that was made. So it's, if you are hiring somebody to do SEO, make sure that they will provide you a list of literally everything that they're doing.
Yeah. And inspect what you expect, right? Here's the numbers. And it's so funny because I teach sales and I see it all the time with the team leaders, how many widgets, whatever, like I deal a lot with banks and credit unions across the United States. And how many checking accounts did you like? Why are you looking at that? How about let's look at the skill that now not only we're going to sell a checking account, we're going to do a home equity, a business, a commercial loan, right? I want the whole package. So I like your approach because you approach it from, well, who are you? What have you done? Where do you want to go? What do you need? Right? What's the gap? And then you could customize and manipulate so you're giving that person exactly what they want. Plus you're doing the activities. Hey, here's all the stuff we're doing. This is why you're getting these numbers. And then now I have a tangible example, if you will, of these activities are driving that numbers, right? In coaching, these behaviors are driving the results of the sales results. Same concept. But now you can say, listen, Con, if you want to expedite or you want to accelerate or you want to whatever, promote that product or service with bigger oomph, all we need to do is add blah, blah, blah to the activity. But I'm understanding the moving parts because it's clear, not only am I getting the numbers, but I'm getting the behavior that are driving those numbers. Did I understand that correctly?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I love that. I love that.
So I blacked out there for a minute and then I came back.
Yeah, I do. I talk fast, Matt. I'm sorry. But yeah, so that makes sense. The other interesting thing, and I guess a question. So because I deal with banks and credit unions, is there a way for people who have very niched kind of businesses that obviously I help others with sales. But that's just my comfort zone because I've been in that industry for 40 years. That's where my people are, right? My network. But can you niche into that so that it drives more to the banks and credit unions in my case, or if somebody else has a, holistic coaches is their kind of target market? Can we get in there and really, really niche in?
Yeah. Well, you have to think of SEO as people are looking for information. So if you are a bank, for example, no, this is a bad example. If you are a person looking for a line of credit, right? If you're a business owner looking for a line of credit, that's even more specific. If you're a business looking for an unsecured line of credit in Minnesota, that is even more specific. People are looking this stuff up on Google literally every single day. And you just need to be the person coming up for that result and providing them with the best content. When it comes to SEO, like people are like, oh, do you work with this niche or this niche or this niche? I'm like, everything's a niche. Like every single business you work with is a niche, whether it's a dentist in, the city I live in or the city next door. Those are two different niches. They're the same industry, sure, but it's a local niche. So people are looking up different things in different places. So with SEO, people are looking for an answer to their problem. They're looking to buy a product. They're looking to buy a service, and you just need to show up.
So it's really the strategy, right? The strategic efforts behind the scenes to get the results on the front end. That's really what we're talking about. And we're not doing this preparation and these habits, if you will, right? These consistent habits. It's the one and done. We started with, you can't do the one and done. You ain't going anywhere. But if you do these consistent kind of behaviors, you'll get the results that you're looking for.
100%.
So in today's saturated digital market, right, we're in overwhelm. There's so much noise. What SEO practices do you think are still holding true and are still making that punch, if you will? Is there something?
So a lot of websites, Google recently did a core website update, core algorithm update, which basically it's the helpful content update, which they recently did. That's what it's called. I'm very much bumbling right now, so I'm going to try and summarize this very quickly. Google did a core algorithm update called the helpful content update, and basically a lot of websites started losing traffic and going down because they're just basically writing a bunch of content on their website to try to rank higher. And all of our client websites, none of them went down. Actually, most of them went up. Wow. In terms of what they were ranking for and how much traffic they were getting. This is because at the core, and I've been saying this for like 10 years that I've been doing, or over 10 years that I've been doing SEO, you have to provide the best possible information to the user looking for that information. If you do that at its core, it doesn't matter if you're doing all the technical SEO in the world. you will not outrank the best piece of content. I mean, you might. I say you will never, but like you might. So if you are writing the most helpful piece of information that somebody can find on that topic on the internet, your likelihood of ranking number one, number two, or even on the first page is going to be a lot higher than if you're just writing it to rank. And I tell my staff this all the time: be helpful. What is the point of this blog post? Yeah, we know the keyword that we want to rank for, but how is this helping somebody? Let's answer all the questions somebody could potentially have about this topic. So that's like at its core, that is something that I believe will continue to be good for Google, to rank higher on Google. Is just write good content, good, useful content.
And you know what I think, Matt, what's happening is people are putting so much crap out there because I was told I have to write 5 articles a week for my SEO. So let me write 5 articles and they're garbage. And I'd rather not post than put crap out there. Number one, I'm too busy. So why am I even going to waste my time putting crap out there? Because I'm not going to get a return on that time, right? Where I could be doing more business development to bring in more business, right? Or record another show where I get quality guests like you. So it's interesting. Garbage in, garbage out. And I say this all the time. It's like when we're networking, we're doing business development, we're working on our sales. If you go in and you wing it with the clients, garbage in, garbage out, you ain't going to make sales, sister or brother.
100%.
You're not putting the right effort forward. And the other thing, if I'm putting garbage articles out there, people are going to, as soon as they see my stuff, oh yeah, hers is kind of redundant, nothing new. It's almost like tag lists or, you know, check off lists, nothing of value that's kind of simple stuff. So, you know, 40 years of knowledge, my depth, what you've been doing for decades, it's depth of knowledge that has to come out in the writing or the show or whatever, where people go, wait, what did they just say? Wait a minute. Oh, I never thought of it from that perspective. But you have to generate that type of enticement, right? Where we're educating with good content. So I love that. And I agree. I think the better we become, the more articulate we become, the more focused we become, the more we listen to what our ideal client needs, what problems they're having, the better we can dial into that, the better my answers are going to be because there's clarity in everything we're doing. It's the same thing with SEO, if I'm understanding this correctly. So fascinating topic. I can't believe it. I have so many more questions. We're out of time.
No, we're not out of time already. Are you serious?
Seriously, 32 minutes we're in. I have my time.
Oh my God.
Well, you know what, Matt, if you're game, man, listen, I would love, we have so many other questions that I'd like to dial into more, maybe I'm more on the technical side that I think people might appreciate. I think we did a broad stroke, which is great, right? It's to understand the content and the consistency and all the things we talked about. Now, maybe we could dial in. So I think we have to do a part B to this or a part 2.
I would absolutely love that.
I know I shouldn't do that when my guests are live on the show like this, because if they hate me and they're like, well, I don't want to be on your show again.
This flew by. I was like, okay, it's been 10 minutes. You know, we still have so much to talk about. Yeah, I'll do part B, C, D, all the way to Z, and then we'll get into the next.
We might have to do a series.
I would be down to do that. I love that.
You're so cute. I love it. So guys, listen, holy smokes. My brain is, you could see I'm excited. You know, I'm passionate about sales and all of this serving at a bigger level, right? And just showing up and who we are and shining our light. Like, this is my jam, man. And I love Matt because what he's doing is a blind spot for me. So this is just really good intel. I hope you're all finding value in it. So reach out. I'm going to give you his email. It's Matt, M-A-T-T at HeyTony.ca, because you're in Canada, right?
Yep.
And the website is HeyTony.ca. Here's the deal. Free gift from Matt. If you go to HeyTony.ca and then it's understanding SEO socials with links. I'm going to put the link in, see a backlink for him, but I'm going to put that link in the show notes, and you guys check it out. Tell everybody what's on that gifts that you're giving, so they, you know, they're enticed. Link it.
Yeah, it's something that I was originally going to do as a paid course. And I was like, you know what? People need to understand this before they can get into SEO. So I was like, I'm going to do this for free. I'm going to use this for my lead magnet. And basically what you learn are the fundamentals of SEO, all the elements that go into on-page SEO. And on-page SEO, that's one of the things that I teach about. That's stuff that's on your website that you can change. That's stuff you have control over. So it's like literally everything from like, what is a title tag to what is the optimal length of a title tag, to the meta description, heading 1, heading 2, heading 3 tags. Literally, I help you understand all of that stuff in easy to understand language. And I show examples as well. It's all screen recordings. And yeah, my goal is just to help you understand SEO so that if you're doing it yourself, you can do a better job. Or if you have an agency, you can call BS on what they're doing if they're not doing a good job.
Absolutely. And it was funny because I do believe that it's my business. I need to know what my partners are doing out there that are supporting me, because you're spending money, right? And time in meetings and what have you. And if I'm not getting the results, I don't even know what questions to ask. That's not okay. Now, here's the thing: as a business owner, this is the last thing I want to say and why. Please reach out to Matt. If you have any questions, check out the website and definitely do this free gift. Or make sure you can articulate and ask the right questions so that you stop spending time and money, because I've done way too much of that. When I'm hiring people, I didn't know what I didn't know. And thousands of dollars later, I'm like, wait, I didn't think that's what I was getting, because I didn't know what questions to ask. So, and I'm not blaming anyone. That's on me as the business owner. I have to understand, not necessarily that I want to do it, because here's the part 2 to that comment, Matt. Business owners, we think, oh, I could learn, I could do it myself. If I can hire someone for $2,000 a month, and now I'm getting more leads in so I can do my sales thing, right? And bring in 100,000 a month. Is that 2,000 well spent? Yeah. So we have to, business owners, we like to be in control, but at what point understanding is one thing, having the time to execute's another. But I do believe you have to understand so you can smooth that road, that road forward by getting what you're paying for, getting what you think you're paying for. So please check out Matt. Again, it's Matt at HeyTony.ca or HeyTony.ca. Check out the website. And I promise I'll put the link in the show notes so that you could take that free class. Matt, oh my gosh, my head is exploding with questions. I love you, my friends. Great meeting you, and great show. Thank you for
this has been
your
amazing
energy and sharing. Yeah, a lot of fun. And, on a boring topic, this was a fun episode. I was like, SEO, oh my God, what are we going to talk about? And this was amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you. This was
real
great.
pleasure. Yeah, real pleasure. And I hope you guys will join me weekly as we question, build, and discover together, no matter where you are on your road of change. I truly hope my guests and I provide some tips, strategies, ideas for you to execute. Information's a beautiful thing. If you do nothing with it, man, it's simply information. Go out, start to implement, take the free class and the free class that Matt's offering, or email him if you have specific questions. Please take action with the information. Actions where we get reactions, and man, oh man, magic happens on that back end. Matt, thank you again. And thank you for joining me on Enlightenment of Change with me, your host, Connie Whitman, on webtalkradio.com. I truly am honored to have you on this journey of change with me. You guys inspire me, and I hope my guests inspire you to take the action needed to move forward and just navigate change with a little bit more ease and grace. I love you all, and I'll see you next week. Have a great one, everybody.